Stop blaming other people for how you feel. Other people don't have control over how you feel. And I know it may seem like people are to blame for your emotions based on what they say or do, but the truth is that you have more control over your emotions than you think. And when you put your emotions in other people's hands, if you believe that other people can control how you feel, you will always be at the mercy of what they say and do. And we ain't got time for that, y'all. We ain't got time for that. So it's time to take control over how you feel. Welcome back to the I'm Not Perfect podcast, where we embrace the imperfect journey of self-growth. What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Pre Speaks, and I'm here to remind you that perfection is overrated, okay? But progress is what truly matters. So join me as I discuss topics about the struggles many of us go through, but don't always talk about, and let's figure out how to get through them one imperfect step at a time. Y'all, today I'm sitting here chilling on the couch. Look, I got my shorts on. I usually I'm cracking myself up. I usually film in the back of my creative room, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a different vibe and just chill and sit here on the couch. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so today we are talking about owning how you feel, owning your emotions, because the truth is, you have more control over your emotions than you think, than you realize. Yes, you do. And I know it may seem like things are happening to you, right? You know, we can say things like, oh, he made me feel this way, or, she pissed me off, or this thing happened that's making me upset. And those words of it's making me, meaning something is creating within you this emotion. And if we look at this, y'all, it's a victim mentality, because you're saying, I don't have power over my own emotions. That power is in somebody else's hands. And that's simply not true. And usually what comes with this is a judgment of that person, is a judgment of that person, the situation or circumstance, that they shouldn't be doing this. They shouldn't be making you feel this way, or this shouldn't have happened. So I'm going to talk about why you need to take responsibility for your emotions, and really for two reasons, two main reasons. Number one, by not taking responsibility for your emotions, again, you're giving your power away. You're putting the control over how you feel in somebody else's hands, in other people's hands. And then secondly, when others blame you for how they feel, you're left, like, you can be left feeling like you have to fix everything and play hero, which isn't good either. That ain't good either. And so I'm going to talk about that. And then also I'm going to break down, or really talk about, how you create your own emotions. All right. So how many of y'all have been in a situation where you had somewhere to be and you knew you had to be on time, but you left the house later than you expected. And then boom, there go the traffic. There go that traffic. Look, especially, I live in Atlanta. And if you live here or have been in Atlanta, y'all know how much traffic it can be. Oh my God, traffic be crazy. And I mean, it's like that in any major city, like, Chicago or LA. But anyway, okay, so you see the traffic and you probably start getting mad. You probably start cussing in the car, cussing at the other drivers because they can't drive. And you blame the traffic for how you feel. You say that the traffic is making you produce an emotional state. But is this really happening? What's really going on? So let's talk about what an emotion is. Somebody who I really, oh my God, I've learned so much from her. Lisa Feldman Barrett. She is a neuroscientist and she's she's an expert on the study of emotions. Okay. Like, yeah. She that girl. First of all, I've read both of her books. I've listened to just about, or I guess you could say I've watched just about the majority of her videos on YouTube. And now I'm listening to some of the podcasts she been featured on. Listen, I'm stalking her, okay? Because I'm like, listen, she got the goods and I'm trying to learn all that information. Yep, I'm trying to learn it. But Lisa defines emotions as feelings that your brain creates based on what's happening around you, combined with your past experiences and how you've learned to interpret things. So your brain, it don't just automatically react to situations. It predicts how you will feel based on what is learned from your past experiences. So what happens is you perceive something and then have an emotional reaction to whatever it is that you've perceived. And so often your emotions come from you having a belief, an opinion, or expectation about how something should go. And when things don't meet your expectations, when things don't go the way that you expect it to go, you respond emotionally and you blame other people for the situation or how you felt. How many of y'all have kids or live with somebody? Maybe it's your wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. Listen, there was a time that they didn't do what you expected, right? Maybe they didn't wash the dishes or take the meat out to thaw. First of all, I know it's somebody mama out there who gonna get mad and gonna yell at they child, friend, husband, wife, whoever, and because they didn't take out that meat to thaw. Y'all know how our parents was back in the day. Let us forget to take out the meat. What we about to hear it. We about to hear it all for real. But they didn't meet whatever expectation you had. And so you got upset and then blame them for getting you upset. Or maybe it's been a time when you've posted something on social media, right? You posted whatever content, a video or whatever status, and you didn't get as many likes or comments as you thought you would. And so, you start feeling some type of way, like, I guess what's going on? I knew I should never post that. Nope. And maybe you feel less than because of the lack of likes and comments you got. And you blame that for how you feel. You point the finger and say, it's other people's fault that made me feel this way. But you're not seeing your own role in it. What's really happening is that you already had a belief. You had an expectation or an opinion about the situation, whether it's about the dishes not being clean, about the traffic or not getting as many likes on a post. And your brain predicted how you should feel based on what you've experienced before, and then creates that emotional response. So in reality, you are the one creating your feelings. And I know some of y'all may be thinking like, now what about those times when somebody really did hurt my feelings, right? What about the times when their words really did hurt me? And yes, someone can definitely impact they can impact your emotional regulation, is what I'm trying to say. Especially if this person is close to you. Maybe your husband or your wife has been distant lately or hasn't been as attentive as usual. And I can see why that might make you feel some type of way. But even in those situations, it's still about the meaning we give to it. For example, somebody else's partner might not see attentiveness as a big deal and may even think the other person is being too clingy. Or just like somebody sitting in traffic, everybody who sit in traffic don't automatically get upset or mad. They could think that, okay, all right, I'm about to chill and I'm about to put on a podcast right now. Yep. It's all about how that person is interpreting things and the agreements or beliefs that person has in their head about those situations. But one thing I will say, though, is that Lisa Feldman, she does explain how having supportive relationships in your life can help regulate your body budget. And your body budget is basically how your brain and body work together to manage your energy and resources. And so when you're surrounded by people who are comforting, loving, and supportive, it does have a positive impact on how you regulate your emotions. But on the other hand, if you have people around you who are, where you don't feel supportive, where you don't feel loved or understood, that can have a negative effect on your emotions, leading you to have more emotional stress and reactions. So that's actually something important to think about. Watch the people who are in your life. Make sure they are supportive. Make sure they are loving and uplifting, because those people can definitely impact how your emotions are being regulated. But the point I want to make is that it's perception based. The meaning we give to things influences our emotional state. So when you don't take responsibility for your emotions, you're essentially handing over control of how you feel to other people. And when every time you allow somebody else's words, actions, or behavior to dictate your emotional state, you're saying that your happiness, your peace, or your sense of well-being depends on them. You're basically giving away your power. And this leaves you feeling vulnerable because now you're constantly reacting to what others do. And the more you let other people influence how you feel, the less control you have over your own life. And the same thing goes for when other people try to blame you for how they feel. This puts you in a position where you feel responsible for their emotional well-being. And this just creates this unhealthy dynamic because you're constantly trying to fix things. Even when it's not your fault, even when it's not your issue to solve. And you start feeling like you got to play this role of a hero, taking on the burden of making everything better and making sure the other person feels okay. And this can be so exhausting because it means you're constantly focusing on someone else's emotions at the expense of your own. And over time, it creates like you can just feel just guilty or feel frustrated or have this resentment because you feel like you're never allowed to just be yourself and have your own feelings. You might even just lose sight of taking care of your own emotional needs because, you're thinking that if you don't fix the situation, you're somehow this bad person or are at fault. And that's unfair. That's not cool. Ain't nobody got time to be walking. Ain't nobody got time to be walking around on eggshells, worrying about whether what I'm doing, what I'm saying is impacting this person on however it is that they react. Ain't nobody got time for that. Am I making any sense here, y'all? Like, do you see how blaming people for your emotions or them blaming you for the way they feel can be a problem? We got to stop putting the blame out there and start focusing on how am I contributing to my emotions? What belief, what opinion, what expectation do I have that's causing this emotional state within me? And so I want you to start paying attention to the times when you catch yourself saying things like, this person made me feel this way. The rain outside is making me depressed, or the news is whatever, and instead I correct yourself and get to the root of what's really going on. For example, instead of saying, the rain is making you feel down and depressed, recognize that you may have this belief or idea in your mind about what it means when it rains, that your mood automatically goes down and trigger these feelings of sadness. It's not the rain itself, it's the meaning you've attached to it. And once you shift your perspective and acknowledge this belief behind the emotion, that's when you can start to take control over how you feel. That's when you can learn to understand, like, oh, okay, this is what's going on inside of me. I can change my perception about it if I want to, if I choose to. Because again, like I see this all the time where, especially on social media, people love to place blame on what they see on politics, on what these celebrities be doing on social media. Oh, he pisses me off. Oh, he makes me, she makes me, no, nah, that's all you. You are the one creating those emotions yourself. So know this and understand this so that you can put your responsibility over how you feel in your own hands, not anybody else's. You control you. That's what you do. Thank y'all so much for watching. That is the end of the episode. And so, I'm going to be back next Thursday right here. I may even just be on this couch again. I was so comfortable. Look, I'm chilling, like I said. But that's all. Enjoy the rest of y'all week. Take care and peace and love.